Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is December 4th, 2023, and today is Monday morning. So welcome back, everybody. Looking at the highlights of the day. Gold pushes to record highs. But first, no major economic events scheduled for today. So as we look at the various markets, lots of things happening. Starting out with the Forex symbols, the major pairs really retrace. And as we look at the indices, the Dow Jones pushes to above 36,200, and that is only 400 points away from our all-time record highs. Now, NASDAQ remained unchanged, and as we looked at the commodities, gold did push to its record highs, but oil slumping and selling off. Now, looking at the stocks specifically, it's the bank stocks that are lifting us higher, while the tech stocks are slumping. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin pops up above 40K. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD, it's not a big retracement, and we mentioned this last week, but it's just, it did continue retracing just a little bit more to 108.60-ish level. Now, all intents and purposes, okay, it's a choppy market. I get it. The question is why did the euro get weaker versus the dollar first? I would have expected the dollar to continue getting weaker since the Dow Jones is continuing to go higher, and that generally has an inverse relationship. With that said, it did retrace. It is at a level where it looks like it's bouncing, so keep that in mind. Like the GBP USD didn't retrace as much, which is kind of interesting because the GBP was weaker versus the two pairs vis-a-vis the dollar. Now looking at the Japanese yen, it did get stronger versus the dollar at 146, so that is a decent strengthening of the Japanese yen. And you can see we are hitting some supportish level, so keep that in mind. Jumping into commodities, this is where it gets super exciting. Gold pushed it higher to $2,148. Now, as it hit that, it did retrace, okay, but we are on our all-time record new highs as we are right now, even if it sold off. And you can see that here. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. That was just a huge spike, and yes, we are selling off here. But the question is, can we sustain this, okay? If we can't, we will sell off, okay? But it does look like it did push up higher and did have that volume to continue. So it may even push out higher. Just wait for it. It's going to be a volatility aspect to it. So just keep that in mind, that there's going to be some movement in it on both directions. I'm looking at crude oil. Unbelievable. We retraced back to $73. We've been trading between $78 and $73 quite some time, okay? And as we're getting to this area, to that $72 range, that's when we're looking to actually bounce. So keep that in mind as well. Now, looking at the U.S. markets, fascinating, really fascinating. We're looking at the Dow Jones, 36,200. All-time record highs, 36,700. We're only about 400 to 500 points away from that. That is unbelievable that we have been able to rally since the September, namely, okay, over the past 2 months, October to the end of the year. Now, we did the same thing last year. Okay, that's this move right here. Okay, from September to the end of the year, we pushed up higher. Okay, and then we traded in a range, and we continued trading in a range, and we even came close to making our highs. But this is really very exciting, as this is hitting our all-time record highs. It's got the banks behind it to back it up. Now, what's happening with the NASDAQ? Zero, nothing, zilch, just trading sideways, which is not very encouraging, as it was the tech stocks that pushed us higher, specifically Microsoft, all-time record highs. So let's take a look at the bank stocks. JP Morgan pushed out even higher, 156. Bank of America also continued higher. And so you want to play on this side. The trend is your friend, and you want to be on the more probability side. Meaning if the markets are going up, even if you have stocks going down and you want to short the market, it's less of a probability trade. So you want to be on the side where, let's say 9 out of the top 10 stocks are going up. You want to be on that side. You want to be betting against the market. Some people feel like they have to beat the market at its own game. Looking at Facebook, did retrace. If we look at Apple, also retracing or just trading sideways. Microsoft did sell off from our 383 high to 374. Now, this is all taking into consideration what the markets are doing in play is rotation. Here comes the tech stocks, and then comes the bank stocks, and then another sector comes in. And so that's what's happening right now. as we look at it, Amazon continued pushing higher, which was one of the only tech stocks that did. Okay, if we look at the other ones, NVIDIA was down. Okay, AMD was up. Okay, so there's a few discrepancies in the market altogether. I mean, if we look at AMD altogether, it's had a nice little run up as well. So keep that in mind as the markets are still consolidating. Now, Bitcoin, where'd you come out of? Now, I mentioned this. We may have an end of the year rally. And sure enough, that's exactly what Bitcoin did. We've been trading between the 38,000 to 36,500 for a long time. And then once we popped up above 38,600, you can see it. It's so beautiful right here. This area right here, and then that area pushing higher. And then once we broke 40,000, that's above. Now let's take a look at a weekly chart. We're coming back to what we know Bitcoin to be, the $60,000 cryptocurrency, okay? Which is amazing in this type of environment that we make up this type of comeback. So there are always opportunities in the markets. There always will be opportunities in the markets, and that is the lesson of Bitcoin. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.